Now I've told y'all that I covered just about any video game genre on this channel. I covered platformers, first-person shooters, racers, fighters, party games, and even dating sims. But I've neglected one particular genre for far too long. The gross, spine-chilling, stomach-churning, pungent-smelling mess that ever came across any of my fragile sixth senses. That being JRP... Wait, what is that smell?
We're talking about a JRPG today, and that was me. I farted. Cue intro.
Tux, get me out, you monster!
Dutch oven bitch.
Well, I hope you're happy that you almost poisoned the entire household. What the hell did you even eat? A dead bird?
Yes, I did actually. The one I tried to give you as a heartful gift. The one you oh so merrily turned down because I guess you're just too good for a hint of compassion from your best bud.
Tux, especially from you, I'm not taking in a dead bird. Knowing you, it could be a threat in disguise.
I felt nice today and you decided to take my occasional generosity and fire a fat flatulence in its face, so I simply responded in kind.
Should I be more thankful for something I don't think I can make even slightly edible, or for the inevitable histoplasmosis? You know what? Never mind. We're supposed to be talking about Nier Automata.
Come for your mother! Open it!
Well, it's a good thing I left the door open.
So you can't accept a personal gift from your companion into your household, and yet you let some street rat rocket shoot himself in. Again.
His name is Justin, and he's a frequent member in my fucking chill series, and he's also the one who got me into Nier.
Yes, that is correct. I am the one that indoctrinated you into this wonderful franchise. One out of many that I have enlightened, like Louise, who I had to beat into him until he finally bought it and played the opening part.
So I finally played this game after 2 years, and it's actually pretty good.
And just like drugs, he got hooked. He was playing it every chance he had after work, or whenever he was free. And just like a religious cult, we expanded and got into it, and then others, and then finally, into your funky little hands.
Funky?
To think, this all came out of me discovering the game via a demo on the PSN store, getting immediately hooked, and instantly pre-ordering it, and the rest is history. But enough about me. Let's kill you!
Wait, no! Ow, my face, dude! So yes, JRPGs are one of my favorite genres of all time, but you may be wondering why I haven't covered one in a span of 2 years. Because they take too freaking long to finish.
What about your Kingdom Hearts marathon?
Hush. But in the end, I'll be bound to yell into a mic about one sooner or later, so why not start with one I neglected for quite some time? Nier Automata.
What about your Kingdom Hearts marathon?
I said hush. The game came out February 2017, and it also became a super hot contender for the 2017 Game of the Year Awards. I still don't understand how you managed to get a seat. It was published by Square Enix and developed by Platinum Games, the same powerhouse behind the one game with the sexy lesbian aunt packing heat and a whole lot of cake. And speaking of which, this is also directed by Yoko Taro, the man with that one creepy moon head with a lot of love to go around. But in case if you didn't know, 2B's design was quite the controversy. And what was Yoko's response for the reason for the BDSM high heels and the fat Georgia peach?
But the biggest reason is that I just really like girls.
Amen. Amen.
I know a lot of people were offended by 2B's design, but also, why though? If you're still into the whole sexism in games argument that pretty much died out a long time ago, I'm surprised y'all never even acknowledged the Dead or Alive series. You want me to pay how much? Or half of the anime industry while we're at it. Yeah, you can have sexy characters in games, and yeah, there's a certain threshold whether said character is a well-designed and cool character, or the other side down, which is not offensive, but just plain provocative. Yeah, these characters do exist and is usually for the sake of fan service, but if you don't like it, then just don't pay it any mind. You have a set of eyes, close them for God's sake, look away. It's something I also see outside the gaming industry, and I just grow tired of seeing people being offended over a pair of cartoon buoyancy. Yeah, 2B has that fan servicey design, but it's also behind a great character with a story to tell, with a reason that stands till the end of time. I just really like girls. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go back to the game and have some fun. Oh, you're just gonna expose us like that, are you, you dirty, sneaky snitch? Well, how about I turn the game off and not do a review on it? How about that?
Yeah, just look at them pretty, round, robust cheeks.
Do what? Will you please stop that? Now, this is where I'm gonna try to make as much sense as possible. So Nier Automata is actually a sequel, but not really, because it's also a spin-off of the Drakengard series, also published by Square and directed by Yoko, that branched off by a frickin' joke ending? Like, what? We go to Tokyo to fight a big booby lady who wants to lick the Scaly apparently, and we kill it through some rhythm game sequence? Said Scaly gets rocketed off of the sky, then boom. Nier Automata. Now, this isn't relevant to Nier by any means, or do you need to know the Drakengard series to get into Automata, but it is connected? Just cuz? I personally never got into the Drakengard series, nor did I know that it had much of a fan base in the first place, but it was granted 2 more sequels. But it was pretty clear that Nier Automata is where Yoko Taro found his golden goose. But I would love to take a look into Drakengard in the future if it didn't cost the value of my kidney. There was also another game beforehand, simply called Nier. While that's considered the prequel to Automata, in actuality, Nier Replicant is, which is a remaster of that game, and oh boy, get ready. So the Japanese version of Nier started Brother Nier, however the American version of Nier started Papa Nier. Same game, same story, same characters, just 2 different protags because I guess us Americans would have better related to a father-daughter relationship. Nier Replicant is basically a remaster of the Japanese version, starring the brother, but it also has the dad in it because people like him. But if that's not the case, then what is he doing in this game? However, there was a remaster just a second ago. How different is it gonna be? Because the advertisement says that it is a prequel, but then again, it really isn't because it came out like 10 years ago, so I'm pretty sure they didn't have Automata in mind. So is Drakengard the true prequel, or is it Nier? Because the prequel is out, and apparently it is a prequel, but Automata really is a prequel to Drakengard for some freaking reason. I can't tell which one came first. Let's just get down and funky with Nier Automata Potato Mata, I guess. Nier Automata stars the Yorha organization, an army of super sexy android girls who are set by the Council of Humanity to take out enemy robots that are plaguing the world. Because you see, the Earth is kind of a hot mess. And in order for the Earth to be plagued by capitalism once more, these guys need the good old boot of get the f*** out! And the android up for the job is 2B, a soldier specifically designed for combat.
Sure, Jan.
She's sent to Earth to do a little spring cleaning around the world like a cute android maid. Does anyone else notice that she looks a little like a maid?
It's not like I like you or anything, Baka.
And we also get 9S too.
I want you to fart in your hand and eat it like a sandwich.
We set our gazes into what I assume is Tokyo and just work our way through the hot scrap mess. Meeting the lovely folk on Earth, smelling that fresh air, rolling the grass, murder is okay, and ride on a roller coaster with the ones you love. Tolerate.
Yoko Taro can create a diverse and entirable lovable cast of wonderful characters that is designed to make you fall in love with them. Whether that's 2O and her bright and cheery personality to mix in with 2B's drab personality.
She turned me down.
Am I dead yet?
Or 210 acting like a tsundere to 9S's bubbly attitude. Devila and Popola are returning characters from the previous Nier game, and even though they truly shine in the second part of Automata, they still remain in the top 10 of my faves. Another returning character from the previous Nier that everyone knows and loves, literally one of the known faces of the franchises, and their own father is always seen wearing it, is a mask of a meal. But this time, he takes more of a backseat in terms of story as opposed to the prequel. He still retains that upbeat and charismatic attitude and even gets attached to the main characters as you go visit his shop to get all the juicy bits that you wouldn't get from any other shop. Pascal is one of the many peaceful machines that you will be interacting with a lot. That is one of those optimistic viewpoints in life and does everything in his power to prove to the androids that they can live together in peace. even being able to calm down the overly aggressive A2, which had a hard-on for murdering every machine she could find, into being a slight protector of the machine village. And speaking of A2, Little Miss Hardass herself,
proposal. Form a friendly relationship immediately.
You've got to be kidding me.
I personally fell in love with her character. She just has it all. The sass, the attitude, the power. As of this moment, I know Mr. Taro is working on a prequel manga that deals with A2 before she defected from Yorha, and she is completely different in this manga. In this prequel, she actually resembles 2B at times, except she's more timid, caring, not confident in herself, and at times she's unsure of herself. It's just interesting how she went from an android like that to this whole F you attitude in Automata. Oh, but of course I can't forget about the best character in the game, and that title goes to none other than Jackass! I absolutely love this character. She only has one thing and one thing only on her mind. Why do you need me to collect all these ingredients? For science! Why do you need me to eat this fish? For science! Why do you need me to shove this up 9S? You know, for science and whatnot.
Yup, the game is all smooth sailing from here on out. All throughout the game, everything's gonna be A-okay for realsies. Like, for real. I promise. Don't worry about it. But that's enough of the story bits for now. Let's jump right into the gameplay, because while I can't really talk about the story right now, knowing this is a JRPG, there's quite a lot when it comes to the gameplay. Nier Automata is a JRPG that focuses on hack and slashing and more orientated around skill rather than inhaling those experience numbers that become strange. You have a general light and heavy attack, each for whichever weapon you decide to equip them with.
You have a variety of categories of weapons, from fist weapons to short swords and long swords to spears, and you can carry 2 weapons at a time, so you can mix and match with the light and heavy weapons being assigned to said weapon. If you do decide to experiment with the different variations, you can be rewarded with special unique animations. Like if you equip fist weapons with long swords, you can do a little skit of baseball with one of the fists. Sometimes you hit it, and sometimes you won't. Or how about equipping a short sword with a spear combo? Guess what? You'll be treated to a little pole dancing attack.
Right now, lick it good.
Noted, all these attacks are only done by 2B and A2, due to 9S's heavy attack only being his hacking ability. But the interesting thing about his hacking is that if you sneak up on some enemies and hack them, you'll be able to take control of said enemy.
But also you have an evade button, because unlike games like Kingdom Hearts, getting hit really sucks and leaves you open for a bigger pummeling, and also you don't have a block button. You're expected to zip zap through the battlefield like butter on a pan. If you manage to escape an attack just at the right time they flash their red eyes at you, you're given the chance to counter them using an attack move, either that using a light, heavy attack, or glock them to robot hell. You also have your pod that's not only your source of info throughout the game, but it also utilizes a freaking Gatling gun out of his pants. And also a pod ability to your liking. You got spikes, hammers. Bitch, is you blind? There's also this one, and a freaking fuck you beam that you can only fire after a certain period of time in battle. But in all seriousness, you're probably gonna be using the fuck you beam. You can have the pod fire some hits while giving yourself some distance using the R1 button, or you wanna go all in and use your regular melee attacks while firing. The majority of your attack buttons are on the right side of your controller, while R2 is to evade as well. Evading will move yourself away, while attacks moves you closer to your opponent, depending if you have someone locked on. Will you stop locking onto the frickin' child? I personally think this is genius, considering it's coming from an eccentric game like this one. Again, in combat, the buttons you'll really need are on the right side of your controller, and you can work both hands like magic as you start to bounce from enemy to enemy. Bayonetta 3 looking pretty spicy.
How dare you?
Not again. Okay, I deserve that.
Nier Automata does a good job of delivering on its boss fights.
Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
From small opponents to towering behemoths to a literal giant fucking baby. Yes, the giant machine you fight in the sunken city is an actual baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Even in the songstress final phase where she says fuck it and grows a dick, the boss fights will have you on the edge of your seats. This is helped by how the music is played in some bosses. By opening up with just the instrumental, and as you gradually continue fighting them, the vocalists begin to appear and add intensity to the fight.
The game does have a leveling system that beefs up your attack, defense, and health just a wee bit, but these can be buffed up to your liking by power of inventory management. Light TM. See, on your journey, you'll come across these plug-in chips you can shove right into your robot mouth that'll give you a boost or an ability that tickles your piddles.
An interesting mechanic that I like about Nier Automata is how the menu itself treats you like an android as well. Like the chip mechanic, which can give you upgrades or buffs, depending on what you equip. But if you notice, the chips that are automatically equipped, you notice things like text box chips, autosave chips, and HUD chips. And if you don't equip these types of chips, it disables the text boxes from appearing while characters are talking, or your HUD will disappear if you disable the HUD chip. Even altering the settings can make some changes to how your character talk, like changing how high or low you want their voices to be, which is something I had to research because I accidentally made the voices have the highest pitch, and I thought my game was broken for several months and almost reset my game. But yeah, Nier Automata mechanics.
You have chips that raises your attack, defense, health, speed, lets you take health items automatically, raises attack power once you're low on health, and your one saving grace that will literally carry the weight of every battle and it become your super duper best friend. And if you love it, it'll love you. It'll love you being alive so much, it'll want you alive, and it will also sweet Bippy it will.
Auto heal is literally the saving grace of this game. It goes from spending money on healing items to never needing to see a healing item ever again. I have my Android chips to make me a self-healing, time-controlling god.
Now what to do with all of this raw power? Oh, oops. Also, don't die. Please. If you die, you'll respawn to your last save, and while you're wondering if you gotta do all that you just did again, yes you do. And also, your plug-in chips are gone. In order to get them back, you'll have to find where you died and find your corpse to retrieve them.
Well, at least I still have my personality.
But also be careful not to die again before retrieving them, because if you die again, those chips are gone forever! Then you're gonna have to go all the way back to get like 10 of the same chips and fuse them into higher levels all over again, which costs way too much money and way too much of my patience and my ADHD. It's not the numbers that'll really pull the weight in combat, the chips will. You can go against higher level enemies and think you're about to be rocketed to the moon. I mean, yeah, it might. All you really gotta do is pay attention to attack patterns and the red eye flashing indicating that they really, really hate you right now. Don't try to stagger them. Don't fight it. Either evade or back out. Or you can just blow yourself up. That's cool too.
And I'd have my own hero music too. It'd go bum 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 bum.
While Nier Automata mixes both skill and number-based combat beautifully, it's really skill that's gonna keep you alive and ready to fight. It's a platinum game after all. Sure, you can find some small fry around the world to kick in the teeth and take their lunch money, but as you find all kinds of side quests in the game, which can be a bit of a drag, I admit, the game doesn't tell you which level you need to be to make it the most bearable experience, or at least I didn't see it. You will come across higher level enemies, excluding bosses, one way or another, so this is why I recommend doing all the side quests that you can, besides nabbing a lot of hidden goodies and getting a lot more out of the story and the characters you'll love and what is going on here? It's best to get used to the skill part of the gameplay as much as possible, since this is what takes up the majority of the combat. When you get the side quest information, it'll always point out where to go using the huge red dot marking the approximate location of, hey yo, you should probably check that out. Most if not every quest will have this sense of direction, so what I would do is nab every side quest I can into my log and start jumping from region to region and just tackle whatever I can in the minimap. In the meantime, finding new routes and even new regions the game's story doesn't even prompt me to go to yet. So with that being said and done, here's a little hot tip for you. When you get the mission prompt to speak to Pascal about getting more info on a certain someone right after finding them, that would be a good time as any to hold your horses and start side quest hunting.
Oh, finally you're here, bitch. You got $1? You're f***ing lying. Let me see. Open your purse.
The amount of endings this game is by far one of the most craziest things about it. This game has as many endings as the alphabet itself. What did you do?
There's several types of areas to explore other than the city, like Pascal's village, the amusement park, and the desert. These areas are just as abundant as the main city, so it's important to update the map information using these terminals and find whatever items and side quests that lies within that region.
Dicks and pussies.
And each region even offers something new, like sand sliding, a roller coaster, and even switching to 2D combat and over-the-head combat like frickin' 3D Space Invaders. Despite how cramped the main world might feel with all these regions being right next door to each other, each one does offer something new and entirely different. The game does a great job of mixing up the combat, either by exploring or taking to the skies in the story, to the point where it can make you forget how to use certain abilities and moves while in the plane or at a different camera angle. It's just so cool cool to see a hack and slash look and feel so different and unique. I can't think of any game that mixes up the gameplay like this, like a sweet, sweet gelato.
I'm fetish.
Now going back to the story for a bit, very carefully may I add, I'm walking on eggshells here. The game's story is really a two-parter. Like Justin said a second ago, there's numerous joke endings and most can be achieved by sheer accident, but that's what they are, just funny ha-has. There's no messing up the story, it is pretty straightforward, and what I mean by that is that it's straightforward your gut. But once you cleared that mess, you may be thinking that's the end, and we're not done here. That was just the first route. On to the second route, Route B, which is pretty much the exact same story except now you're 9S. That's pretty cool.
While Route A and B are the same thing, just viewed through the different perspectives of 2B and 9S, it's done in an interesting way. The way I mean by this is, take Route A, which is 2B's side. She's an infantry type character, she is given a set of orders, and so you see everything through 2B's eyes, where if you see a machine, it's all about either sit and learn, or destroy if it attacks, regardless of the circumstances surrounding it, whereas with Route B, you view everything the way 9S sees things, as a support and information character. Because 9S's abilities give him the ability to hack machines, you are also able to hack bosses as well, and learn their backstory, as well as their official names as well. Whereas you fight bosses as 2B, you never knew their names or backstory. You knew what was needed and took out the target.
And while learning the motives of the characters, what drove them into complete insanity and getting to know the characters a lot more, it's still doing all the same crap again. Same side quests, same dialogue, call it good game design if you want. Personally, I call it padding. You can beat the main story in a little over 3 hours, and by beat, I mean either routes A or B if you're booking it to the end, which is something I don't recommend doing. But when you take a step back, both routes are pretty short in the grand scheme of things, and at least Route B does cover more bits you never seen in 2B's route.
It's also funny how one of the rules is supposed to be emotion is prohibited, and so when you first arrive at the moon base, the initial thought is it's a drone place with workers and soldiers that work like robots. And yet, the moment you talk to a couple of androids, you see that everyone is busting with personality, falling in love with other androids, and yet the commander says nothing. So yeah, 2B, emotion is definitely prohibited.
I don't usually get a partner. It's kind of fun.
Emotions are prohibited.
Back this way again? What a pain.
Stop complaining.
Jeez, you're kind of a bitch.
One of the selling points that made me immediately pre-order the game from the demo, and I am not ashamed to admit it, is that of the music. From the song that plays while exploring the factory, which gets more amp as you progress forward, to the boss theme that plays as you fight the one-man walking construction crew. It immediately drew me in, but oh no, it did not stop right there. Not as long as the full game had anything to say about it. One song from the album in particular that is my favorite is Song of the Ancients, Atonement. I took notice of it from the game trailer, Arsenal of Elegant Destruction, but sadly failed to realize it in the demo. Atonement is an updated version of Devila and Popola's theme song, Song of the Ancients, from Nier Replicant, and I absolutely love it. Fun fact, the music in Nier is not an official language to be translated. It is called the Chaos Language, created by the vocalist Amy Evans, which is a mix of French, Latin, Welsh, and Gaelic. Yoko Taro had done it this way so his players wouldn't get too distracted while playing the game, and each song leaves a pretty impressive impact when you first hear it, and each merged so well with the environment you find yourself in.
So we got all that crap done easy breezy. Now, what's next?
Let's say we jump into Route C, a quick little hour or more adventure.
What happened?
Oh fuck no!
Who would willingly do this? So in conclusion, Nier Automata is a rare case of a game made out of a lot of love and attention to detail. It's one of those games that will throw you for a loop in any way possible, and its eccentric gameplay and story, while not for everyone, never fails to engage its audience and keeps them on their toes. Nier Automata, however, requires your full engagement to see it all the way through. It's padding, going back and forth in a region, or backtracking if you lost all your chips. If you're not a fan of skill-based hack-and-slash JRPGs, or if the story doesn't have you hooked halfway through the first route, then this game is sadly not for you. However, there is a reason Nier Automata was selected as a nominee for 2017's Game of the Year. It didn't want to follow the norm, it had a story to tell. Yoko Taro knew what type of game that would feel different, engaging, and fun. And with Yoko Taro finally getting some footing in the gaming industry, and with a remaster on the way, well, out now actually, I look forward to whatever Yoko Taro pulls out of his pants on a random Tuesday morning. Bless you, Moon Man. So that was my good old-fashioned hot take, my game take, and Justin's. What did you guys think of this video? Hecky, what do you think of Nier Automata? Be sure to let me know all your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, and be sure to like, and most importantly, subscribe if you like this crap, and if you want to also check out all my other crap. Please go check out my social medias. I'm on Twitter 258, and I also have an Instagram. Or if you want to go the extra mile supporting me, I do have a Patreon and a TeePublic store. And also, don't forget to join the official JorGoGo Discord to become a funky dude and just hang out. All the links to what I just said will be down below. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Y'all be cool, be wild, and be groovy, and good night.